Where do the lines between reality and fairy tales fade? What seed begins the roots of the hatred you crave? Who lost the key to the logical door? What is it all for? Senseless ramblings online, but that is not the line. When did we lose our minds? Conspiracies are fun, we find truth in some, but not all discoveries get things done. Extreme expectations everywhere, demanding proof we declare. This dream you're chasing, broken and scarred from the start. If nothing is real, why would you care? Sometimes the simple truth is not so simple. It's not just them, it could be closer than this. It could be you, it could be me, lost in a sea, behind a wall so thick we just can't see. But if you open your eyes, reality you'll find. Look inside, there's a conspiracy safe for ye. Inside the boxes breaking everything you see. People lost in Neverland, chasing fantasy. Followers who just join any band. Have you ever held a hand, yet feel lost within? Inside you know you need them, but their madness never ends. Society's chaos, it feels lost to me. This heart holds love true and deep. It tears me apart watching you in so much pain. Nothing left.
Hello, Daisy.
This loss I refuse to hide. Open logic's door, peel the hatred out and toss it away. It's hard to fight when only one is mad. Fairy tales aside, let's examine your truth. Find if it has roots. Only one thing left to do. Cut it down, clean the rotten limbs. Don't forget the leaves. Each one could hide a nasty seed. We need to uproot, cleanse the air, seek where truth might lead. Oh, when did we lose our minds? Conspiracies are fun, we find truth in some, but not all discoveries get things done. Extreme expectations everywhere, demanding proof we declare. Lies we build tear us apart. Scars and wounds deep in our hearts. Trust shattered, friendships frayed in deceit's web. Truth is betrayed. Time to break free from this twisted game. Find our way back to what's real and sane. With open hearts and honest minds. Leave the darkness and let truth shine. When did we lose our minds? Conspiracies are fun, we find
Super shot.
stories get things done. Extreme expectations everywhere, demanding proof we declare. Break the chains, face the unknown. In this tangled web, truth must be shown. With open hearts and clear minds we'll stand. Reclaim reality, take each other's hand.
Wait, did he really skip the part where I showed my butt?
kind of a groovy little song. Hello, my name's Zerzu Zyklin. Welcome to my channel. How's everybody doing today? So, this morning and last night, I should start by saying, within the circles that I, hang out in, there's, a lot of battles happening. And apparently I seem to find that people have a hard time swinging the axe both ways, so to speak. Now, this morning and last night, I swung my axe several times at Joe Biden, such as, I guess he took a picture, or posted a picture, I don't guess. I know he posted a picture of some soldiers and Delta Force, and that's most certainly bad. Now, I guess another axe that I swung was, I imagine at some point there was a rest for church services or whatnot under the Biden administration. But I find that a lot of times people have a very hard time swinging the axe in the other direction. Such as, for example, under the Trump administration, there was a leak of a signal call where accurate, real-time war strategy was leaked to a member of the press. I mean, that's about equal. Anyway, I also find a lot of times that people say, well, Biden in 2020, and I just keep hearing it over and over and over again. And I think these people have to have only ever voted for one person ever in their life to not understand how ridiculous it is to say Biden in 2020. If you're complaining about the actions of 2020, you're not complaining about Biden. Biden got elected in November of 2020. He wasn't officially certified into office until January 6th of 2021. All of 2020, every single second of 2020 was Donald J. Trump. So if you're complaining about 2020, you're complaining about Donald J. Trump. Now, unfortunately, I don't like to, clip Sarah too much and, give her any razz because I really like her and I don't want to piss her off. She does have the ability to not pull me up on panel. But she did make a claim here. So we were talking about or she helped me with a claim, I should say. Let me get a drink of coffee real quick. Oh, come on. It was a tourist show. They were just there looking around at the sites like every day. Anywho, so we were talking about the government taking our rights, and that the rights that they're taking, a good example would be during were the shutdowns and the pokey poke. And one of the arguments I have on that is the pokey poke was invented under Donald Trump and released under Donald Trump. Now, there wasn't a mandate for the pokey poke under Donald Trump, but there was most certainly a mask mandate in 2020 and a a quarantine where we were shut down. We had to stay in our homes in 2020. And what I'm going to be pointing out in the very beginning of this is that Sarah actually points out that there was most certainly the same restrictions in 2020, just that you weren't, the pokey poke wasn't forced at that point. Hey, Rebel, how you doing? Guess some people don't like you online.
It was March of 2020 when when it hit the news and things were,
But
we started like a 2-week shutdown, like a,
but
There you go. March of 2020, when we started like a 2-week shutdown. That would be under Donald Trump. How hard is it to pick up your axe and swing it back at? Now, this morning, like I said in Discord, I had swung my axe at Biden several times. How hard is it just to simply say, yeah, that was Trump? Hello, by the way, hello, Tom.
I mean, under
Was that, I have my Discord closed. Was that you that thought it was a cooking show today? Well, I mean, yeah, I guess in a way. Cooking up on panel.
Biden, if you went to and had church service, even in an open field, he was arresting pastors
I'm
and
aware.
people.
Okay, so with that guy, Jason R. Now he'll be up here. He's not a bad guy. We've had talks back and forth. I think we're able to have our little bouts and get scuffed up, take a few blows, and dust it off, and still go have a drink. So he's gonna be over for game night, but I have to kind of do a little bit of info checking, I guess. I guess I'll call it info checking because he claimed that under Biden, there were arrests of people who were having outdoor church service. Now, I wouldn't doubt under Biden there was probably arrest of people having outdoor church service. There you go. I just picked up that axe and I swung it. Flat. However, as I look up this information, I found initially what I gave to Jason R. was at least one well-documented case involved an arrest of an outdoor religious gathering during COVID-19 restrictions in the United States. The best-known example was Moscow, Idaho Palm, and the arrest was in September 2020. September 2020. Now, I pointed out to him that we've discussed this already, by the way. I pointed out to him that it was 2020. And that's the Trump administration. So there are two other ones. Now, he posted one of them, which was this guy in Florida. And there's another one in California. I believe he also posted this guy in Baton Rouge. So this guy in Baton Rouge took a plea deal. Now, what he posted was the guy in Baton Rouge took a plea deal in 2021. Well, that would be under the Biden administration. However, as I look further into this information, I find that the Baton Rouge, Louisiana plea deal comes from a case where he was arrested for an outdoor church service in 2020. He was arrested. Not under Biden, whose name was screamed when posting this information. He was arrested under Trump. How hard is it just to pick up that axe? Whack! Take it that, yeah, it was most certainly under Trump that happened also. I mean, I'm not saying that Biden was innocent of anything. I'm saying that we also have to be able to point the finger the other direction. If we become a society who ignores one side and only points their finger at the other, there's a problem. Such as the guy wanted to mention, and I don't mean to say the guy, Jason wanted to mention that Antifa. I don't support Antifa. Do you see me going out there with a little black gown on and pink gas mask? Nope. You don't see me supporting it. Why do I? Let's stick to the subject. Donald Trump also did these things. He took your rights. And we should be looking at how to stop presidents from being able to do that in the future. Now, daydreams about fairy tale, promised land sovereign citizen bills, never going to work, man. You ever hear the term, you can't put the genie back in the bottle? Anyway, let's get on with the rest of yesterday's show. Right about the time the guy, I guess after he found out that everybody was kind of looking at him a little foolish. Steve, he's not a bad guy, I guess. He's kind of sovereign citizen-y, he's auditor type. But once he realized that, I guess he bragged about going to have a steak, which I made sure to point out last night or yesterday that the only person who does that is somebody who really doesn't get steak a lot. Or maybe, just maybe, the food bank had some good steaks.
Kent,
Darn
and
it, I
Kent,
really
I
wanted
mean
to
this as a
ask him about
joke.
what he meant about the left-right paradigm, and if he had an opinion on if he wanted it to be like an independent party or if he absolutely doesn't want any parties, but I was unable to get in there.
From what I gather, Zerzo, he wants no parties. He just wants everybody to.
Oh, so
Yeah,
fairy tale
kind of-
land
Yes.
instead of delving into reality, which is the independent parties and left right. Because I absolutely agree the left right paradigm is a fake. It's not real. I mean, the left. It's not only left right. There are many different parties to choose from. Unfortunately, we have a really hard time. All of us have a hard time getting together and coming up with one idea. And in order to topple the two big parties, left and right, we would have to align under only one of the independent parties in order to change our government party from the left-right paradigm.
And Sarah, I have to make a joke to lighten the mood a little bit. I'm sorry. Yeah, I apologize for getting heated again. Kent, are you I mean, I don't know, and this is a joke. Like I said, do you identify as a male or a female in the family, or
Now, on that, I'm not sure if I was explaining that well. If we have a large portion of our kappa, and that are not voting at all, and we have a pretty fair portion of our kappa that don't want to either support red or blue, they want to support something different. If those kappa come together under one unified party, whatever party it may be, they would end the left-right paradigm, at least for that 4-year cycle. Oops,
relationship?
buttons hard.
That way, the women can outnumber the men up here.
I'm one of my pronouns is transgender, so I'm a female right now.
Okay.
He identifies as a
I
black.
did not know, so I just was asking.
Wait,
Kent.
what was it? Black.
Give me a second. Non-binary. Sorry. Oh my goodness, I'm so high.
Oh man, she
Non-binary,
watches everything, and she doesn't. She tries to say that I'm obsessed. It's like every time I turn around, she's posting something from my channel.
Gender, transracial,
She just hides. She hides over there in Discord, where only her small little group of dorks see it.
paleo vegan ghost. I'm a black, Irish, Jewish, lesbian, a wolf every second Tuesday, and also a witch.
Holy shit! You're like the only person I know that can take like 4 minutes to describe yourself.
Ben,
very fancy.
how much of that water do you drink a day, Ben?
Usually I burn through like in the summer, a gallon and a half, and in the winter, about half a gallon, 3/4 of a gallon.
Oh my gosh.
Sadly, she watches
Well, I
me
do
in
a lot
a
of farm-
Discord. She watches me in a Discord that she can't speak in, and then copies it over from that Discord to another Discord so she can cry about it.
Work. And I can say for Steve on the answer to that, first and foremost, the biggest problem is the federal government was never supposed to be this overwhelming monster.
Oh no,
I would
it was
agree
never
with
supposed to be this big.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
the government
it
was never supposed to be
basically,
this big monster
control
that
protection for the
we
United
have no
States,
control over.
and then it just controlled some interstate regulation of exchange of goods. It was never supposed to be this big boss, big brother. And so in order to get us back to any kind of equilibrium,
sit down and don't talk.
Entirely, because the problem is, like, even in California itself, I live in far northern California. I am 4 hours away from any major city. I'm 2 hours away from the grocery store that I shop at. And that's the way everybody is out where I live. You can go north of Sacramento and drive for 5 hours before you hit Oregon, and there's not a city anybody fucking knows the name of in between. And we live entirely different than they do down in LA. Now, down in LA recently, they passed a carbon law where now they're going to start charging people for the mileage when you go in every year to get your renewal and they check your smog or whatever. They're going to start charging people based on the mileage that you go. Well, obviously, that's fine for people that live in LA and you have access to a grocery store, a gas station, your work, and everything else within a little scooter ride. But it takes me 2 hours to get to the grocery store, at which point in time I obviously need to haul more than a little bit back with me.
I don't know.
And so
I guess.
this isn't how that works out in my world. And so they vote according to their lifestyle, not mine. The 2A argument is another perfect example. You hear people in the city all the time talk about how a rifle would only be used like a semi-automatic rifles only used to shoot at a person. They've never had an angry, hungry mountain lion marauding across their farm trying to kill things. And I tell you, they move pretty fast. They aren't that easy to fucking hit.
No.
Yeah, I don't know if I want this hillbilly just flying off rounds, even if my house is freaking 200 yards away or a half mile. I don't know if I want him flying off rounds and a coyote running across his yard. But I do understand his argument, and I most certainly understand his argument about the gas, him having to travel 2 hours to a grocery store and, get large amounts of groceries. And I guess, yeah, he could have them delivered through like Amazon or DoorDash. I don't know if they would deliver out to rural areas like that. They're pretty much like in small areas. Now, Amazon, yeah, the shit can be delivered right to your house. But I do understand his argument about he has to, just in the area he's in, he has to travel 2 hours to go to the grocery store. That's a lot of mileage at the end of the year. Now, the problem is he not only driving that and then just like ripping around in his truck all day long? Like, I've had friends who spend their entire day in the car driving everywhere. That's definitely causing not only pollution, but damage to the road. Every car that goes across the road is causing a little bit of damage. Multiply that by the whole town, and, well, the road needs to be fixed.
Especially at night. So I understand where they're coming from. In their mind, the only thing they would ever shoot
I
is
was
somebody
trying to address
attacking them.
that.
In my mind, my house is surrounded by bears, mountain lions, bobcats, and tweakers.
Well, unfortunately, you can't shoot the tweakers.
The tweakers are the biggest threat.
Sarah, has anybody up here brought some of them to Flows the other day? The Tweaker Geographic videos, they are wonderful.
To speak, I'm not going to speak on behalf of Steve, but also I think that part of the point is that blind loyalty to any party is idiocy. No party is perfect. No candidate is perfect. No politician wants what's best for you personally. They want what's going to keep them in power. They're going to do what they're told to keep themselves in power. Corruption is equal on both sides. And pointing the finger solely at the other side is never going to get us anywhere.
Oh, I mean, I told
I
Ben this. I
absolutely
was like,
agree with that. And you know, Marjorie Tyler Greene, she's been surprising the heck out of me. Now, I really don't dig her because of the Q stuff. I don't care
like
about
she
her
bonked
MAGA
her
stuff
head
so
and got
much.
smart.
It's the Q stuff that really drove me away from her big time. But lately, she has been actually making a lot of sense, and she has shown that you don't have to toe that party line. You can still make your arguments within the. Now she's going to be censured and removed, but more people, I believe, should do that. And a lot of her arguments, like this whole thing, she's saying that it's not Maduro who we wanted. Of course, we wanted Maduro because he's a dirty, evil person. But what we were actually after, and it's funny that Trump mentioned it in the press conference, that we don't really want this thick, gunky oil that nobody wants. Well, unfortunately, that's what our country is actually tooled for. If you look up what type of refinery plants we have across the country, most of the refinery plants, especially in the southern United States of America, are all built for the heavy, crude, nasty crude oil that's very hard to produce. But we built it that way for a reason, because that's what's in that area. Now, if you go up in a more like Wisconsin area, we have a few more refineries up there. And those refineries are there's a mix, either sugar or sugar sour, which either one you can use on that, or the heavy black. And the reason we still have heavy black up there is that Canada has heavy black oil, the heavy, thick stuff that's really hard to produce. It would cost us much more money because what we mine from, or what we frack from California, is all sweet and sour. We send all that overseas because we don't have any refineries in the United States of America really to produce that much sweet and sour. We then use that to buy the heavy black crude oil that we do have the ability to manufacture. Now, Venezuela was not producing the levels of oil that we need to buy. So if we take control of the oil wells and sell it to ourselves, we get the black oil that we want. And of course, we'll build more rigs out there to draw more oil because they have the largest oil reserves. Primarily, what we were looking for was
I meant
oil.
the largest in the area.
And it's not like
They're
it's really
the
even
second
hidden.
largest in the world.
I mean, the
or third
dude's
largest
mentioned
in
it
the
at
world.
least 8 times before he was even president, how much we needed Venezuelan oil. That's what I think the goal was. Now, do we need to get rid of this dirty man? And was it something that should have probably been done? I would have to argue yes. Now, there are some people that are like, oh, the UN's going to step in and he's violating international law and da-da-da-da-da. True, but we have veto power. There's nothing really that could ever happen about it. The UN could say, oh, bad boys, and we'll go, nope, forget it. And only the U.S., now there's 5, only the U.S. is required for a veto power. That's called the Power 5. That's China, Russia, United States, yeah, you know the 5 players. Any one of them individually can veto. So really, there's nothing that's going to end up coming out of this Maduro thing except for us getting oil, and that was the primary goal.
we never broke international law. The New York federal court found Maduro guilty of crimes, so we went down there and got him.
The UN doesn't care what the U.S.'s federal court said. If the UN wants to try to put sanctions on the U.S. for breaching federal law, they can try. However, I very clearly pointed out, we have veto power. All we have to do is veto it.
That's convenient, but that's not why.
They found him guilty in 2020. I mean,
right. But we don't do things until it's convenient for us.
Right? I totally agree with Balderson's wife there. That's when we act, when it makes money for us, when it benefits us.
For us, then we're going to go do it.
As far as I know, there's only been one other time in history that we went over to another nation and captured its president, and that was in Panama.
I think I'm going to use chirps here. And that was.
What are
quite
you
some
talking
time
about?
ago.
What's Saddam Hussein? What are you talking about?
No, we didn't listen. We sent him. Yes, we went over. We grabbed him, and what did we do with him? We gave him back to Iraq to be tried by his people. They tried him, and
Yeah,
they
well.
did what was right. Chirp, chirp.
His
chirp.
people.
That's,
Yeah,
I
the
was gonna-
Iraqis. We gave them back to Iraq. That was part of it, so that we weren't looked at as the bad guys that are just going to another country
early.
and snatching up a leader and then executing him. Instead, we gave him back to Iraq to be tried by the Iraqis, and the Iraqis tried him and, of course, hung him in the same day. Chirp, chirp. That would never happen in the U.S. That was not a U.S. court. The U.S. would never try and convict somebody and then terminate them in the same day. Chirp, 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 chirp.
When do we stop
That was funny. Anyway,
being the policeman for the world? When do we actually start producing something in our own country again? When do we start actually making things, doing things, providing
Well, that
actual
was-
services, not just customer service? When do we take back our own independence and stop going in and taking over little countries in proxy wars for our own gain?
I mean, Miss
that
Balderson,
was
like I
kind of the whole reason we elected Trump, wasn't it? So that we'd stop reaching our hands out across the world and fighting all these battles. that
I
we
thought it
don't
was
need to
no
fight.
new wars.
Spending
Yeah.
American, oh yes, no new wars. Spending American dollars just out there doing little war games with each other. That's draining the swamp. And here we have a deeper swamp, and now an international crisis.
I don't know where the
And now-
international process is that literally lasted 4 hours, but I mean,
Well,
you know,
because the other countries, that's where the
they're
international
not going to do
crisis comes
shit
in.
to us, Zerzu. They have to get across the
No,
ocean to get
no,
to
no,
us.
hold
They
on,
can't
Jason,
not the
do
Jason,
shit
largest
to
military force
us.
in the world.
There
You do
are,
know that,
hold on
right?
one second. There are many people in your own country that believe that Trump is as bad as Maduro. We hear them up here on a regular
No,
basis.
Well,
Ryan
This is setting a
is telling
terrible
all of us that
precedent.
he is.
Guys,
I don't give a flying rat's ass.
10th Man, I think, actually kind of has a point here in that. So if we want to play that propaganda game where we're told that everybody in Venezuela hates him and they all wanted him out, half this country wants Trump out. So if somebody came in and took Trump out, would they be able to claim to their country that that's what we wanted? That was the will of the people? I don't know. I'm not boots on the ground. I'm not claiming to know the answer, but it is a precedent and it's a slippery slope.
Well, they've already tried twice.
All right, we got about 10 more minutes left if you guys want to tie up your loose ends.
If you want to come tie up loose ends, that's you. I don't
Hey,
have anything to tie
Jason
up.
R., you ever want to come over one night on my show and do a game night?
I can.
Yeah, maybe we'll
Aw.
hook you up with that. I was trying to get a hold of Radical Coder last week. He didn't do it, and he didn't show up. He said yeah, but didn't show up. Unfortunately, I'll have to go beat him up for that and
I think
I
Ryan stays
might-
pretty busy.
invite him again. You know what I mean? And I have a buddy, Ironton Auditor. I don't know if you know him. He was around the Chili crowd at one time doing the audit thing, and then
Oh,
he
God.
broke away from Chili and started doing his.
Are
own
we
little-
referring to Chili de Castro?
Yes, and he broke away from Chile to do his own little audit thing because he didn't believe. He was in the little Chile cult for a while, and then he broke away from the Chile cult to see what Ironton's police department was really like, and he
No.
determined that really there's no corruption there, not the level of corruption that De Castro was trying to paint.
Now,
out.
Sarah, if you really want a fun show one night,
Mhm.
try to get Chili de Castro to come on your show.
Oh my God,
I have no idea who that is.
no, don't.
Just look up one of his videos, and I mean, you'll see why I say it really quick.
Sarah, if you're watching this, please don't bring Chili de Castro on your channel. I mean, I'm not kidding at all. It's not somebody you want to have up on your panel. You think people take over the mic? That man will take over the mic every second.
And just to be clear, Jason, I wasn't coming at you. You two, it was just weird to
No,
watch
Ben.
you two fight.
I don't thought-
it was a weird fight to watch.
Ben, I don't think you are. I mean, I think he just misunderstood what I was saying at the beginning. I misunderstood him. I mean, tell Steve that I apologize. I mean,
Apparently on Monday, I guess I should do it Monday at 3 just to keep with we may as well start a little tradition on it maybe. Monday at 3 we're going to have a game night, and so far I have James R has agreed to come up and play, and Ironton Auditor, Terry from Ironton Auditor, has agreed to come up and play, so that's at least 3 of us playing the game. If any of you would like to come up and play, then hopefully you're on tablet or PC, or I mean a laptop or PC. It's easier that way, but if you're on a phone, I can still guide you through the process of playing the game. You'll end up having to open up YouTube in a browser such as Google Chrome, where you can then open up a tab, or open up the game, that's right, in a browser such as Google Chrome, and then you open up a tab where you then go to YouTube. Instead of using the YouTube app, you'll actually be playing YouTube through the browser. That way you can switch between the 2 tabs so that you can watch the game on the stream and then play the game, control the game from the tab. It's really not that hard. It sounds more complicated than it is. It's a lot of fun once you get up here. Oh, and Tootie, I wasn't trying to dodge or... Yeah, and this is where I'm correcting myself, that she was right on the point in time when the jabby jab was most certainly Biden. Conversation, other things splitted away when we were having that conversation. By the way, hello Nightwolf. Because I was quite high, sorry for posting late. So I misspoke a little bit. The mask was when Donald Trump, the mandates of the mask was Donald Trump, and the mandates of the vaccine was most certainly Biden. You were correct on that. I kind of mixed up my arguments there.
Well, the end fact is that they through propaganda.
She gave me a little
propaganda
nod. I'm
was
sure
safe
she
and effective
understood that
when
mistake.
it was something that they just created, and obviously you can't have.
That wasn't my only mistake. The reason why this is titled Baked Tomato, I was so freaking high when I went up there. I'm not kidding. So I at one point I wanted to say Biden and I accidentally said Obama. Not only once but twice.
Long-term tests on a thing that you just created. They can't fucking
If I may,
exist.
the real problem came in was that
when they stop interrupting, dude. So when they said,
well, you half know what you're talking about.
When they said it was safe and effective, it hadn't been through a clinical trial. They were breaking the Nuremberg laws and not letting people know, hey, you're a fucking guinea pig right now. We don't really know what this is going to do to you. That was all.
Because I made an educated choice with the P1 because specifically the trials showed that had almost no problems whatsoever. But what we weren't told was that they used a completely different manufacturing process for the ones that they gave us than they used for the testing. That's the problem.
Now, what he's referring to here is the original Pfizer Moderna vaccines that were... man, I gotta stop saying that word anyway, but that were given by the Trump administration were not really tested, and there were a few problems with them. Not as many as they're making it out to be. A few problems. Very rare. I think it was 1 in 100,000 or something like that. And then the second batch was, and is, and all the batches after that have been much more thoroughly tested. Oh yeah, those were released under the Trump administration, by the way. The ones that you're complaining about.
And that's why I'm angry. Not because, I feel like when I think it was Jason said something about sob story. This is not a sob story. I'm not asking anybody for any sympathy about anything. I'm asking for people to rise up and hold these people responsible.
And nobody's
The
saying that
problem
they
is
shouldn't
that
be.
you chose what you did. You weren't forced.
No, they lied. When you go buy a bottle of Tylenol no.
The argument is, were you forced to, or did you make a choice? You had a choice of being homeless or getting the jabby jab and staying at work. That was the argument. It has nothing to do. You're basically straw manning the argument at the right now. And man, this guy 10th man just likes to hear himself talk. He's another one.
When you go buy a bottle of Tylenol,
he's the one that seems to think, oh, you don't know who I am. I'm going to talk about you online. We all talk about each other online. Nobody gives a darn rat's ass.
And that has manufacturing defects that unalives you, they get in trouble. If they used a different process than what they provided the FDA to manufacture that, and then it makes a bunch of people unalived, that's a problem. If I had have gotten what they put up for testing, not the alternate manufacturing way, then I wouldn't have got hurt. That's what you fail to understand here.
Oh, I understand all of that, and I still understand you chose.
And I understand Balderson's argument as well. It was a do this or. Of course, or maybe you not having a job.
Yeah,
and
you had a
ending out
choice.
on the street. But there was an or. There was an or. You could have decided, I'm going to take that job, or I'm going to not take the jab and lose the job and tool
No,
yourself
if you sell
to make your own
moonshine
money.
at your store as vodka and people die, you're responsible.
You're still straw manning the argument, man.
That's a separate argument.
Nobody's arguing against
It's the exact same argument.
I don't disagree with you at all.
Actually, if everybody's agreeing with you on
liable
that, that's a straw man of the argument that's being made.
I understand both perspectives. Like, nobody held a gun to your head, but you felt coerced enough because you were provided the wrong information the entire time, as were the employers and the schools and all the news crews and everything. So I totally get it. It makes sense why 10th man believed he A, had no other options, but also B, he didn't really everyone believed it was supposed to be okay. So I get it. On that note, why don't we go around the room and everybody can take their turns with the talking stick and give their final thoughts, and then we'll get out of here. Jason, you want to kick us off?
Sure, why not? I want to apologize to everybody for getting heated there for a second. I think me and him were just talking past each other. And, like Ben said, we actually agree on a lot of stuff. But, hopefully he comes back and I can apologize to him in person also. And I hope everybody has a great night. And I'll see y'all next time.
Thank you, Jason. And thank you for sponsoring the show and opening the panel and everything like that. Everyone say thanks, Jason.
Thanks, Jason.
Thanks, Jason.
That's the other thing.
And he did. He paid hundreds of dollars throughout the night.
I got no shade at you either. Don't worry.
I guess, I'm a simp because, the person in the Discord says I'm a simp for sponsoring your show. So, I guess I can just be called the simp from now on.
That's ridiculous.
Own it. Own it.
We're grateful for it.
And
paying for what you appreciate.
Yeah, I mean, they're that person's probably got their own OnlyFans sponsorship and everything, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. 10th man, to you, sir. Your final thoughts, please.
Sorry for getting mad. I had just woken up, pounded back a Red Bull, sucked on my pipe, and I take this stuff very personally.
You see the little 2D bug up there in the top middle, and look over at Balderson. Dude, that was really a wrong way to say that.
Personal, but no hard feelings towards anybody.
Perfect. Thank you, 10th, and thanks for jumping on. We love you, even when we don't. Zers, to you, please.
Well, since I already pretty much said what I wanted to say while I was on here, I'll talk about what I didn't get a chance to say way in the beginning of the show. As far as a chick with 1,000 dudes record or whatever, man, there's a lot of dudes that are waiting to break that record. And my belief is if she's hot enough, those guys aren't going to care about her body count. As always, you guys are awesome. You don't have to be wise, just don't submit to stupid.
Thank you, Zers. We appreciate
Hey, you're
you.
showing up at the end of the show. How you
Balderson, sir,
doing?
to you, please.
I enjoyed the end part of that argument, despite it being so contentious. And don't think I don't have
I had a lot to
sympathy
dump
and
out right
didn't
in the
also feel
beginning.
pain from going through that era. I lost a lot more than most people would imagine. And I don't go around talking about it, much. Sarah knows about it because her and I talk privately. But it's done. It's over. It is what it is. Certain people are able to do certain things, but understand that most of the worst things that have ever happened were done with our consent, and our consent is so very fucking powerful.
I do agree with that
This
statement.
is part of why, like you should have been taught in history that.
I agree with that statement. Most of the things that we don't like that our government has done has been done with our consent.
We couldn't go to World War II because the public didn't consent, and this is why they allowed Pearl Harbor to happen in order to try and drum up public consent.
Well, that's a good thing to
in
be
order
focusing
to
on.
do what they wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
Be informed with your consent. Be strict. Be stingy with it. The more you give that out, the more they're going to just take it for granted, and before you know it, you got no rights.
Yeah, I agree. That's a really good like you should put that on a bumper sticker or something. Thank
guys.
you, Balderson. We appreciate you. Ms. Doodybug, to you, madame.
Well, it was a fun time getting up here with everybody and just shooting the shit, so to speak. Everybody got a little bit of puff pass going on, and that was pretty cool. I wish Joe could have stayed up longer.
Yeah, his
Playing
phone always
tasking,
has
but-
his phone always has issues with my show only for some reason.
But yeah, I mean, it was a lot of fun. I'm glad it didn't get too out of hand. Not like some things where people start really going nuts. It was just, I think, just a little bit of miscommunication that set off that one part. And then once that was fine, it was back to chill fighting. So yeah, But
I like
thank
it.
you for having me up. It was awesome, and thank you, Jason, for letting the panel come up. You are not a simp. You just appreciate, and that's all there is to it.
Can we take a moment to observe this lovely room here?
Isn't that room awesome?
It's so girly. I'm jealous. I wish I could be that girly. This is beautiful. Look, even your mic is all blinged out. Oh my God. You are like, you want to say e-girl, you have like all of the e-girl going on that you could possibly
like
do.
It said, all three of them. They're like, you
Oh my
look like the ultimate gamer girl. I'm like,
Yeah, my daughter would
"Ooh."
probably, if I showed her that, she'd probably be like, why isn't yours like that? Why is yours black and dark and this and that?
Like, 'cause I'm a raining tomato. Come on.
I'm a fucking mater, bitches. Well, thank you, Tootie, for joining us this evening. And to everyone else, we are going to be raiding over to TrippyCast. He's got some hot, sexy bitches on that he's playing, or is he still there? Yeah, he's got like half-naked girls over there. So shout out to all of you. Please go over and support TrippyCast. Thank you, Jason, for the thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Let's go have some fun over on Trippy's. Again, hot half-naked girls, pretty delightful to look at. So I couldn't send you possibly anywhere else. Thank you for joining tonight. We should be doing a open panel grab bag topic tomorrow. I've got a lot of things going on this week. There will not be a Throwdown Thursday. I had to push that. So very busy week for me. So tomorrow is currently on tentative, most likely, but still potential to cancel or do a shorter version or something. But I love you all. Thank you for hanging out with me. Now fuck off.
I like her ending there. Anyway, so yeah, like I said, the beginning of that, there was a lady who had broke a record by, I guess, sleeping with X number of men, and that was an interesting topic, but that's all over there on her members only live. This was a lot of fun. As always, you guys are awesome. Remember, you don't have to be wise. Just don't submit to stupid. Thank you very much. Have a good night, Uncle Artie. Of course, everyone else, I just threw in Uncle Artie because he showed up.
Where do the lines between reality and fairy tales fade? What seed begins the roots of the hatred you crave? Who lost the key to the logical door? What is it all for? Senseless ramblings online, but that is not the line. When did we lose our minds? Conspiracies are fun, we find truth in some, but not all discoveries get things done.
Wait, did he really skip the part where I showed my butt?
Demanding proof we declare. You're chasing broken.
Batman's back in town, Penguin.
Simple truth is not so simple. It's not just them, it could be closer than.
Like, tell me, like, here's a doll. Point on the doll where people have hurt you. And if you don't like it, guess what you can do? You can hit that little itsy bitsy thing on your fucking computer. If you read it, it says power. When you hit it, this motherfucker disappears.
The box is breaking everything you see. People lost in Neverland, chasing fantasy. Followers who just join any band. Have you ever held a hand?
Penguins.
Inside you know you need them, but their madness never ends. Society's chaos, it feels lost to me. This heart holds love true and deep. It takes
Okay, but
me
no one should ever be civil with pedophiles. Pedophiles.
Yeah.
nothing left inside this loss I refuse.
Okay, but no one should ever be civil with pedophiles. Pedophiles.
Yeah.
Out and toss it away. It's hard to fight when only one is mad. Fairy tales aside.
Okay, but no one should ever be civil with pedophiles. Pedophiles.
Yeah.
Nothing left to do. Cut it down, clean the rotten limbs. Don't forget the leaves. Each one could hide a nasty seed. We need to uproot, cleanse the air, seek where truth might lead. Oh, when did we lose our minds? Conspiracies are fun, we find truth in some, but not all discoveries get things done. Extreme expectations everywhere, demanding proof we declare.
Holy crap, I'm just gonna pull this song down. It's like a lifetime long. Later, guys.